Okay, so please introduce yourself.
My name's Lewis Aitken. I train here, and I've trained under a few of the different things, or a few of the different disciplines here, mainly focusing on the striking aspect
Okay.
of things.
When did you start training?
I started training when I was about 4 or 5 years old, so it was round about when the club first opened. I'm 17 now, so that's going to be about 13 years, yeah.
Cool, because I remember when you were 4, I think, up at doing a kickathon up at the
Yeah.
Nuffield thing. And that was like many years ago when you were a small child. So, like, why did you start training? What was the reason behind you starting training, do you know?
I remember when I was younger, or I don't know, I think there was it was a youth club around the corner.
Right.
And Chief or Anton took gradings there, and at the time we were just sort of going to as an after school club because me and my sister were really hyper kids, and we needed stuff to spend energy on and things like that. And when we found out, they were doing kickboxing down there, or some form of like kids self-defense, we wanted to get involved in it straight away. I mean, it excited us, and then
Cool. So is that? So that's kind of like what about your mum? Did she have an ulterior motive for you doing it, or was it?
She was really open-minded with it. She wasn't really against it. She wasn't she didn't have that kind of view that our kids were going to get hurt or anything like that. She kind of she just kept an open head with it. And as we first went into it, she came on to watch a few classes, and she ended up liking what she joined in herself.
So now, when you started, what was the kind of stuff you were learning when you first started with it?
It started off more traditional. So we had there was the sport kickboxing side, which came a little bit later, but at the beginning it was more to do with your karate side of things. So with all the different stances and forms, katas, and there was self-defense in there, but it was more structured, like traditionally, rather than how it is now.
And so you've progressed up through, because obviously you've been through the ranks sort of thing, you've been through everything in ranks, and where are you now? What are you doing now?
Well, I reached my black belt, and then I wanted to move further, so I began competing. It started off more as something like black belt's a stage that you get to, and then you carry on after that, and then it became something more where it's something I really enjoy, and it's something that it's a big goal for me. You got a competition in a couple of months, and you just work towards that, and then after that it's the next goal, and it's just something that I enjoy, and it's something I found in the sport and the discipline that I really find interesting.
Nice. You've also done, like, as opposed to just the kickboxing side, you did a bit of the screamer as well, is that right?
Yeah.
How did you kind of get into that? Was that through the kids program, or was that like you did it afterwards, or?
Well, in the beginning with the kids program that we had, it wasn't just. I think when we first started at the youth club, it was not just to do with having an experience in one discipline. It was to do with having experience in several different things. And obviously, with Chief coming to grade, and it was his number one discipline, he was obviously very excited about it and very eager to teach. And it just sort of fell into it that way. My mum got involved, and then me and my sister got involved on it, and I took part in it a lot heavier towards the beginning, and then after that, it led me to things like after.
Because you guys went to the Philippines as well.
Yeah, right? Mum said to us, she said, when you guys get your black belt, I'm going to take you to the Philippines, and you guys will get to train over there. And obviously we were really, really excited about this, and we were happy to get over there. And when we did, we met a really interesting family, and it's like a whole different culture, and it was just, I don't know, I can't explain it.
How was it like? Because when I went out there, it completely changed my view on the world. Like spending time there. How about for you, from your perspective?
I just felt that everybody over there they don't have much, but what they do have, everything's a lot more valuable to them, and you sort of come back feeling a lot more humble and a lot more sort of appreciative of that, I guess. And it just changed my training. I think it stopped me from thinking sort of, for a long time black belt was a goal, and then after that it became sort of like a stepping stone, I guess.
And you also
bigger things.
You also trained out with in America as well, right?
Yeah. Basically, I was fortunate enough to have my auntie living over in Los Angeles, and we been over there several times as a holiday, and I remember we went out one time and we checked out a gym that you previously trained at, which was Eric Paulson's.
Yeah.
Didn't train there, unfortunately. I mean, I was a lot younger then. And then when I went out when I was a bit older and I was more into my fighting thing, I wanted to improve different aspects of the sport. When we went out to the Philippines, we went boxing, and I really, really enjoyed that. And when, the first thing I thought of when we were going to America is, right, this is Los Angeles. There's going to be somewhere good. And I went looking and stumbled into Manny Pacquiao's gym, or Freddie Roach's wildcard gym, which is right up there. Like, I was quite nervous about it at the time because it's got quite a bit of status, and I went training over there. I went twice. 2 times we went to America, and the last 2 times we've gone there, and we went there for a few training sessions. And the coaching over there was brilliant. It was it's just some top quality coaching, and it's the atmosphere as well. You feel like you want to push. Like everybody else around you is so high that you want to push to sort of feel that, I guess.
So it's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah. And it was just, it's something that sort of makes you, it's like another motive, I guess, and another thing that gives you a boost and makes you want to achieve.
Okay, well, so how would you say that the training academy, training martial arts has kind of helped you through your life?
Starting off towards the beginning, I was always a big child. I was fairly overweight, and one big thing that martial arts gave me, it was a way to lose that weight. I mean, the weight getting lost. On top of that, I mean, you get sort of down about it, and then after the weight's gone, I was a lot more raised, and it opened up new opportunities for me. I mean, the opportunities it's given me, and the things that I think the coaching I've received and the people that I've been around, it's changed me. It's made me a lot more humble, a lot more relaxed, and it's a different experience, I guess, than I can imagine in other sports.
How was it kind of like with obviously with training and then also the school side of things as well? How did those two mesh or interlink, and how did you find it?
Right, well, in the beginning, it's a lot easier. With going up through when you're 13, 14, you're going up through school. It's compulsory education. You're not working towards even up to about year 10 for most kids. You don't have to worry so much because you've got GCSEs, but that's 2 years away. So you can train as much as you want then. Your schoolwork and everything will get done. There's no point in worrying about that. After that, towards GCSEs, I'm not going to lie and say it was hard, because it was still easy to train a lot. It was still easy to get in the schoolwork I needed to do, and that. Then when things came to A-levels, it just changed a lot. It became it was really important that I managed my time, that I knew what I was doing when I was doing it, and it did take a lot of discipline for me, but for something that I love doing, I'm willing to move things around, and sometimes you can't train all the time, and you can't put in all the effort you want to put in, and there are some days, I've had an experience lately. Obviously I have January exams and I haven't been able to train properly.
How was that for you, not being because you train quite a lot, so going from training quite a lot to not a lot, when I do it I hate it. I can't do it. It's horrific for me.
I find myself I feel almost caged in. I feel like you're always releasing energy, you're always doing something that you enjoy doing that keeps you happy, and then when that's taken away from you, the first few days are alright, it's a nice rest, and then after that you're sort of thinking, I want to do something, and then it's Christmas, and then you get food, and you're happy with all of that, and then slightly afterwards, you realise that your training still has to stay taken away because you've got other priorities, and you find yourself only coming in now and then, and when you come in, it's not great because everybody's so happy and everybody's so buzzed, and your cardio level goes from being how it should be to how it's not, and then you step on the scales and you're shocked when you see your weight, and it's a horrible feeling because you feel like you should be so much fitter, you feel like you should be outperforming yourself, and you feel struck by those goals that you tried to achieve, and then obviously you've taken a couple steps back, but then I think that then eventually becomes another goal for you to pass that
towards,
again.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a stepping stone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. And obviously, like, your mum's been quite a big part of you doing this. How's she, like, kind of kept you going? How has she supported you in that kind of thing, and in your training, all that side of things?
Yeah. We've never really been a family with like a lot of funds and a lot of things, but one thing that sort of my mum's she always saw the positive outcome that me and my sister from doing kickboxing and competing, and she's always seen the positive effect that it's had on us. She's never looked at any slight setbacks we may have had, which, to be fair, there aren't really many to have. Yeah, she's always been really supportive, and there are points where she knows that, you know, when we're having a day where, you know, a lot of the time when we were younger, you know, you're less disciplined with it, we have a setback, or we'd have a day where we didn't want to train or whatever, and then she, you know, she'd try and get us to train, and I remember, you know, sometimes I'd be like, you know, sat in the car like, oh, I don't want to go, and then eventually I get in there and have a great time, and then after that my whole attitude changes. I mean, that's a lot more from being younger, but
I think
yeah.
every child goes through that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. So, like, in terms of, do you think martial arts is a positive thing for children to do, like to anybody to do?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for martial arts that's different from a lot of other things is the variety it offers people. You know, there are three aspects that I think any child can gain, or even any adult, and that's, you've got one, your self-defense, you got two, your physical fitness, and you've got three, the competitive side, if that's where you want to go. I mean, as a kid, I think every child wants just about all three, and I mean, well, for me it was all three. I mean, self-defense, you know, you got kids getting bullied, you know, kids get bullied at school, or kids get bullied anywhere for that matter, and obviously it's not all about self-defense, it's about the right way to approach it, and that's one example. The other example is fitness. You know, a lot of kids, me for example, being a bit overweight, you know, that's another thing that it offers. And then the competitive side, I mean, loads of kids play football, loads of kids, you know, compete in different kinds of sports, and if it offers all of those three, then I believe it can just about fit anybody.
Perfect. Okay, and one last thing. So, what's your kind of like your future? Where do you want to go? What are your plans for the next few years and stuff?
Next few months, try and keep my training up while this last few exams come in A levels, and after that, I want to stay competing. I want to try and compete more regularly. You know, every month, every couple months, that kind of thing, and I want to enjoy it. I want to just. I mean, there's nothing sort of stopping me from training. I mean, at the moment, hopefully, you know, when this university comes, or with the next couple of years, if I can train more, and then I should hopefully have a few more funds than I do now. So, I mean, I'm hoping to be travelling. I want to go out to different countries. I mean, it's always one thing. I've always wanted to go to Thailand to train. I've always wanted to try it. You know, I know a few people have done it, and they've always come back thinking that's brilliant.